All right, let's jump right into this explainer. If you're a protocol engineer, a validator operator, or running infrastructure for an L1 network, you already know the post-quantum migration headache. Today, we're skipping the academic theory and unpacking a concrete, systems-level architecture, a measured, operational design you can evaluate directly against your own network's traffic mix.
We're tackling the exact operational pain point Layer 1 engineering groups are facing right now. The industry is already feeling the squeeze of balancing massive post-quantum signatures against very real bandwidth constraints. Think about it. If every single consensus message on your network carries a 3+ kilobyte payload, you're paying a massive penalty. You're getting hit hard by fragmentation, gossip fan-out, and latency. So I want you to keep this question in mind. What if your hot path votes stayed perfectly under one Ethernet packet, while your public checkpoints stayed fully FIPS standardized?
Right now, infrastructure leads are caught in a massive three-way tug-of-war. First up, we have size. The FIPS 204 ML-DSA standard is incredibly strong, but its multi-kilobyte signatures will absolutely shred your bandwidth on high-frequency consensus paths. Then there's stack fit. You might look at Falcon as a smaller alternative, but its hash and sign NTRU design sits in a completely different algebraic regime. It's structurally misaligned with the module lattice chem and fully homomorphic encryption pipelines you're probably already mapping out. And third, compliance. Your bridges, custody attestations, and external auditors strictly require that standardized FIPS 204 language. Post-quantum migration isn't just picking a NIST algorithm. You have to balance all three of these colliding forces.
So how do we solve this? The answer is role separation. Instead of brute forcing one algorithm to do everything, an intent router splits the traffic based on what the message actually is. Your high-frequency, short-lived messages like votes and session bindings get routed down an ephemeral mesh path to a highly compact native signature. But your finality checkpoints, bridge exports, and audits, they take a completely different route. They go down a persistent audit path straight to a standardized FIPS 204 anchor. The core idea here is that post-quantum migration is fundamentally about where each algorithm runs on your network. Now, to make this work and build absolute trust with counterparties and regulators, you have to enforce a hard operational boundary. We need to be incredibly clear on this. Native signatures alone are not external finality proofs. We do not claim NIST categories for these native ephemeral tiers, and we absolutely do not claim any sort of lossless algebraic conversion between FIPS and native encodings. The native signatures protect the short-lived mesh, the FIPS signatures protect the durable ledger. Keeping that boundary explicitly drawn is what makes this entire architecture safe for compliance.
Let's look at the physical network constraints, because this is where the rubber really meets the road. A standard Ethernet MTU tops out at 1,500 bytes. The native ML signature sits super comfortably inside just one single packet at 1,056 bytes. But if you try pushing the ML-DSA 65 standard, you're blowing past 3,300 bytes. That requires at least 3 network packets after headers. That MTU fragmentation is exactly what degrades performance and chokes a gossip network. Keep the high-frequency votes under 1 MTU, and you eliminate that fragmentation entirely.
And the real-world performance metrics back this up. When measured on a standard production-class client CPU, the hot path latency numbers for native M are really compelling. Both sign and verify operations process in the tens of microseconds. We're talking a median sign time around 63 microseconds, and verification under 50. For L1 networks operating on incredibly strict per-vote time budgets, this microsecond class performance is exactly what you need. It ensures your consensus engine doesn't just stall out while grinding through post-quantum math.
Let's scale this up for your capacity planning. Imagine an illustrative 10,000 message payload. If you were to force 100% of your traffic onto the ML-DSA 65 standard, you'd be slamming your network with over 33 megabytes of signature payload. But if you apply a role-separated mix of, say, 95% ephemeral mesh traffic and 5% durable persistent messages, that aggregate payload drops to just 11.7 megabytes. That is roughly a 65% reduction in signature payload, with a similar slash to your actual packet count when you factor in MTU fragmentation. It's a massive systems-level reduction in overhead.
Of course, we have to talk about security alignment. As I mentioned, native ML explicitly avoids claiming NIST categories. What it does provide are pinned estimator class metrics for those short-lived keys, specifically around 2 to the power of 196.4 classical reduction operations. Operationally, you tie these paths together using tier locks. ML-DSA 65 is locked to native M, and ML-DSA 87 is locked to native H. This ensures total consistency across your network.
You get the standardized NIST assurance right where you need it and an estimator class hardness of comparable magnitude for the ephemeral traffic.
And for actual validator deployments, you need to know this implementation is safe from timing attacks. The native profile is backed by a mandatory software timing side-channel triad, and it passes all critical threshold checks. The TVLA yields a T-statistic of 0.268, well within the safe threshold of 4.5. The Kolmogorov-Smirnov and mutual information tests also show negligible dependence. Basically, operators can deploy this native signing path with high confidence that timing variations won't leak secret key material during high-speed, high-stress validator operations.
So why should operators of EVM and similar high-throughput stacks care about this specific architecture? Because on your networks, votes, quorum certificates, and session bindings completely dominate the message count. Sub-MTU mesh signatures reduce your gossip load and fragmentation exactly where it hurts the most, right on the internal fabric. Meanwhile, your durable checkpoints, bridges, and export artifacts stay fully planted in FIPS 204. Your external verifiers, counterparties, and auditors don't have to learn some custom trust story. They get the standard they demand, and you get the performance you need to survive.
As you take this role-separated architecture back to your engineering groups, I want you to ask yourselves a critical question. Is your current migration plan actually prepared to handle the systems-level shock of MTU fragmentation? Post-quantum migration isn't just a simple cryptographic swap. It is a structural network engineering challenge. By adopting role separation, you can safeguard your network's throughput without sacrificing regulatory compliance. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely take these numbers back to your infrastructure leads as you plan out your own resilient migrations.